Hello everybody, this is Solus44 again, and welcome back to another episode of Galactic Chickens. I'm going to be doing a little bit more explanation of what I messed up in my last episode and why it was messed up and I didn't realize it. Well, that's what I get for not reading, right? It's not like it doesn't tell me in the book that in order for that orchid to work, it needs to be in the nether. But I digress. Let's go into what's going on for the day. So let's go through and look at what I did. It's gonna be loud. I hopefully will be far enough away so you can hear it exploding in the distance. That explosion sound is actually ores being changed. So it's very loud, and I want to make sure that I get that noise down. So I'm going to create sound muffler. I might even do 2 of them. Yeah, I'm going to do 2. And these sound mufflers are really good. They're super easy to make. It's just a note block, which is wood around a redstone for a note block. And then you just add some wool. It doesn't have to be white, or it can be any color it wants. And then it'll make a sound muffler. I have one of those set up over here because of the sound of the exchanger constantly being used by the user. Yeah, it gets annoying. So I put a sound muffler over there. And yes, there was an invisible rail car when I loaded my game back up again. You hear all that? It's super loud. So I'm going to dig down right here, let's say. And hopefully that quiets it down. Two of them didn't do it. Oh, that's annoying. But it did quiet this down. And that's the problem. Alright. Let's go ahead and drop that. Okay. That did drop the... Alright. Notice I got some Certus quartz. Yay. Alright, so this is the regular orchid. The orchid works on the overworld materials and it gives you random overworld origin, a spawn. Now this affects down in the ground as well. It's a cube. So you could effectively do a building with a builder and have it place stone everywhere except for where this flower is, and it will literally keep on putting stone, and then have another builder with a quarry the stuff up, effectively creating an infinite ore machine. That is if you have enough mana. As you can see with my wand on, you can detect that I am running out of mana. It's filling up because the rail cart is giving the mana pool mana, but it's not going to be enough. And I don't have enough leaves to keep these munch dews running. They are doing the best they can to kind of keep up. And I'm going to cover this in just a second anyway. So this is the deal. It's going to give you the ores. It even gives you ores from the other galaxies, I believe. I tried to turn that off, but I don't know if I did or not. But I got amber, I got coal. So you can actually get some of your coal back. This is the key right here, though. This is Certus quartz. This is something that you can't get unless you do bees, or you go mining, or you can do a laser drill. I might do a laser drill because that takes up a lot of power, and that's pretty cool. This is slimy leaves. Slimy leaves is still considered by Munchdew to be a regular leaf. And it's linked to this mana spreader. This mana spreader is trying to keep this mana pool full, and you can hear it kind of underground because it's attacking the stone, and basically it just turns stone into ore. Let me go ahead and demonstrate that real quick. Oh, let's just clear that way. Okay. Boom. Hopefully it turns this one in so you can see it. It's not super fast, so it's not like... And it's random, so it's not really reliable. The range on it's pretty good. I can reach all the way to that mana pool from here with this. So I can do a whole nother setup over here. Look at this. Oh, I got Cinnabar. Yay, Cinnabar. You get the idea, right? Now, I don't know if this can be disabled with the redstone signal or not. I'm going to give that a shot right now. And just place a lever here on this piece, just so I can see if I can turn it off. Why would that work? I doubt that did anything. Botania has its own mechanic system set up, so it can work. But this is, you know, you get about 5 or 6 of these bad boys running in a small group with a few mana pools. And I'm going to show some different ways of generating mana other than these Endo Flames. But for beginners, Endo Flames is what every single person seems to use. And I also, during the time, during the video cut, I went ahead and I added a few more Endo Flames. I might add another row right there, just to kind of really put it. I turned off the redstone signal so that I could fill up some of these mana pools. And I think it's working. I actually think that the lever did work, which is, it's kind of crazy. Yeah, looks like the lever is working. So what we'll see is these mana pool filling up. Now I want to turn, let's just do a manual break. I'm going to turn this thing off because it's noisy, and apparently you can't sound muffler this. Well, that's broken. Either way, I turned it off. This is not what I had. Anyway, so the idea is that this pushes forward. I just broke it like that on purpose because I wanted to be able to, you to hear me. This integrated dynamics is reading this mana pool here with a block reader, and I pulled the MBT data, and this is showing the total amount of mana that's inside of it. The mana then also is being detected on this runic altar, and I did a pretty good amount of work to get that to work to read the what's going on, so that way how much mana is needed to create a rune. So let's say I want to craft a rune. This is my auto crafting section. I've already got most of this done, so let's see what we get. It's not, okay, this is not a flawless system, and what it is it's basically just, this is a crafter, and it's going to be able to drop these items into this dropper. And those items, I apologize, I need to make sure that the dog, my new puppy, has had a chance to go outside. So give me 1 second real quick, and I may have to cut video here, and that's going to take a little bit of time. So anyway, let's go ahead and get some rest, and I'll explain to the little bit more of this, how the system is set up. All right, so this is a variable store, and I will actually craft this whole setup somewhere else here in a minute. Well, on another video. It's not like I'm really good at it, so I'm not going to be able to give you a tutorial. Okay, I'm just going to fuddle with it until I get it to work. That's basically how I did it. I know how to do the basics, which is reading the mana NBT data in here and then creating an integer and putting it on the screen. So this is how much is in here, 592,000 mana, which is a large number, but it's, yeah. Anyhow, this thing is on all the time, this precision dropper, and so what this does is it says put those items inside the dropper drops it onto the tablet, the altar. This is a user with a bunch of living rock inside of it, and it activates it on a pulse. So what's happening is this is reading the altar. When it reaches the target goal of mana inside of it, because this is going to be constantly hitting it with mana. And oh yeah, if you put a spreader next to a mana pool, it automatically fills the spreader. So you can see that the spreader is full. Now it's constantly shooting this altar, but it won't actually use up the mana unless it's got some kind of ingredients on it. This is not, I repeat, this is not the right way to do this completely. Apparently there's another way of doing it better. Because this collector, the range collector, is kind of really frustrating me right now because it picks up everything except for, but right now it only picks up these things. But let's say I want to craft high tier runes. High tier runes use other runes. Well, if it crafts the first rune, that's fine. But then it goes to craft the next rune, it drops that rune down. Well, this collector will automatically pick it up. So then it never completes the recipe. So in order for me to do this, I actually need 2 setups. Maybe even 3 to really do it fully auto crafting the way I'm doing it. I know there's other ways, but whatever. This is how I figured it out. This redstone signal is emitted from here when the amount of mana is needed for the craft is reached, and therefore it activates the rune runic altar with some of this living stone, and it places the living stone into the craft, then this uses the wand, and it just constantly is on, always on. So it's just always being hit with that deal. So let me show you what it's going to do. I'm going to go ahead and type in rune, and we're going to craft a basic rune because it doesn't require other runes inside of it to make. And it actually, let's craft a heavy rune. Well, that's not envy. No, let's craft greed. So they're named after the sins, I guess. So let's go ahead and see these runes right here. Let's say I auto-craft this rune. It drops on there and it's created. It's going to need other runes to make it. So basically, it never completes. So the heavy runes like this, it has no problem with, right? Because Rune of Greed is right here. So it'll pick that up. I'll show you how to make Terra Steel in a second. I'm past the point now where I actually need how to make it. But, all right, so let's go ahead and show you. There you go. And it's going to count up until it reaches the needed amount of mana. Then it's going to emit a redstone signal, and it's going to tell it to put living rock on there. Takes a little while. You can see the mana is coming out of the mana pool and going into the runic altar. It's a lot to make these advanced runes. And there you go. Now, notice it left some runes hanging in the air, including one of them, because it got dropped onto the runic altar, is stuck. Now, I can fix that to some degree, but I always end up having stuff like the Rune of Spring or something like that left over because the collector can't collect. If it was set up so that it collected this, right? When it would drop that in for the recipe to create this Rune of Greed, it would automatically get picked up. And I would never see it go into the craft. So I've got to figure out a way better of collecting. That's where I'm thinking. I've got a great way of this is beautiful to me. Very simple. Constantly exporting living rock into this thing, which is why that living rock machine has to keep running over there. And then this thing is constantly getting triggered when it reaches just the right amount. Now I had to put the collection of living rock because there's an issue with the integrated dynamics where it's kind of glitchy, I guess, where it pulses on the initiation of the recipe. And I think that's because when this reader is reading the MBT data on the runic altar, the initial mana requirements are 0, and so it's saying true, and it just automatically hits it with a real quick one piece pulse, which is set for 1 value, and or either that or this thing is just janky too, and it just says, all right, as soon as something happens, just give me a redstone signal, and it just pulses a piece of living rock. So this collects the broken piece. Now, Terra Steel is really easy to make. It just takes a very large amount of mana. It requires this terrestrial agglomeration. In order to make this, you've got to do your basics to get your mana infused items. So if I type in mana, you're going to get mana pearl, mana diamond, and mana steel. Those 3 things are what creates a thing of Terra Steel. So if I tell it Terra Steel, I do have it set for autocraft. Now, there's a chicken that gives you Terra Steel nuggets. I'm breeding a 10-10-10 of that, so I don't have to do this anymore, which is going to cut back on my mana usage a lot, because this uses a lot of mana. This is why I have these over here, and I have sparks on here. Sparks basically share mana between each other. You can see if they're collected. See that? Boom, they're connected. And I have these sparks over here with dispersal. See a little weird looking red glowing sparks? They are shooting mana over to whatever is needed. See? Full. Full. Not so full. And then this one was originally for the runic altar, but I needed extra mana because this takes a lot. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you what it does. Hopefully I can make one. I should have enough mana. You can hear it crafting the mana pearls that I took. So there it goes. Nice and fast. This ranged collector here is set to collect Terra Steel, and so you're seeing it do this. Boop, gone. Now Terra Steel is really good for making real armor that has some serious defense to it, and it uses mana to keep itself from taking damage and things like that, and keeping the durability. But okay, so this is a real simple process of living stone, lapis blocks, living stone, lapis blocks, and repeated pattern, and then there's a block of living stone underneath this. So that way, yeah. Now, don't interrupt this process like I'm about to do, or you will lose your stuff. Like this. Oh, all that mana that got shot in there is gone. So let's say you got to almost the end, and if this takes too long, it will time out and the items will disappear and you'll lose your stuff. So remember that. Don't try to craft 500 of these in this manner either. This dropper system that I have set up, not exactly the most efficient. Yeah, it's actually not efficient at all. Because I can only do one at a time. And again, that's because I'm using the range collector process. It's probably not the only way to do this, but I don't know how else. Oh, and since I interrupted it, the system's now broken. Let's go ahead and cancel everything. Tell it Terra. Alright. Oops. Terra Steel. One at a time. Just so you can see the cool effects. I love the sparkles and stuff. And this is actually really fast. It's really fast because it has all the mana already available and multiple sources providing it mana all at once. If you don't have this spark joined here, this can take a very long time. And your very first piece of mana steel is going to be used to craft your elven portal and these nature pylons. Now these have to be within 10 blocks of this, and they have to have at least a quarter, I believe, of the mana full for this to open. Once it's open, it maintains itself pretty easy. Okay? But if I was to start making a bunch of items, because this is another one of those dropper situations. Dropper is going to push an item out into this steel, and it's going to craft the item, and when it falls to the ground, it's going to get picked up by another ranged collector. This is the network system receiver, and on the other side over here is the transmitter. So it's receiving the information, except 14 blocks, from here to there. So I basically can create remote network locations anywhere. Depending on how far away they are, depends on how much power they use. I got plenty of power, and so I should be good. Solar panels for the win, right? Now, this is a tool builder. I covered it in one of my videos. I left it for keep it running with a shape card. Now, this is the shape of the area that I covered, and it just so happens the reason for that is the munch dews cover that area. You see? You see? All right. And so here's what's going on. Let's turn that preview off. This is going to grab the items from here. So if I had some leaves, let's go ahead and grab some leaves and I can show you. Should I shear it? I guess I'll do shears. Yeah, let's use one of these mana shears. So let me grab a bunch of leaves real quick. Here we go. Do not get mad at me. I will pick up this mess. I will. Oh, a creature. Oh, look at that. What timing, sir? What timing, sir? Let's check out my shurikens. Yeah, I made these a couple episodes ago. Remember this? Bad boy. I'm going to take you out. I got to. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Alright. Let's try the demonic first. Now, in this mod pack, the AI is a little bit brighter than normal. Like it tracks you a little better. And they're a little faster, I think. And they also spawn a lot more. So watch out. So 2 hits, that's not that great. What one is this one? This one's the demonic. Is that the demonic one? Wow, so at 10.59. That's not very good. Alright, so let's take our leaves. Let me show you what it is that's going on. So these munch dews, what they do is they're a generating flower. And what they do is they eat leaves and then they go into a cooldown. So what I did was I have the builder placing leaves on the ground from my grid because I had no use for leaves otherwise, other than decorations. And those come from here. Okay? So they're locked in to these drawers. Oh, this drawer did not get any leaves. I really need you to work on leaves, sir. Can you do that? Can you give me some leaves? Actually, are those mineral? Oh, they are. They're mineral. So now I can lock it in with the key. Like this. I created a drawer key. And then it locks it. So now every time, no matter what, even if it runs out, like see it says 0, it's going to stay there. And then I need to grab some mineral. I'm surprised it doesn't. I have external storage attached to each one of these drawers underneath. So that way that I can run these as if they were containers. And it's seen by the grid. Let's go ahead and add this to the system. First we're going to sleep. Because I don't want to have to deal with a bad guy coming. Ooh, that was some lag. Alright. This is going to export all the different leaves that I tell it. Boop. And then it's going to plant them. And then it's going to fill up the area with leaves. Then the munch dews, after they reach their cooldown period, are going to eat those leaves. It's not very fast, but watch when the munch dews reach their cooldown. It's going to go crazy. So there's the builder doing his thing. Now these munch dews produce a very large amount of mana. So they're very useful for using things like this orchid. And also for filling up and making Terra Steel. Oh, there it goes. They reach their cooldown. And they will pretty much immediately fill up a mana spreader like this. Even with a potency lens and a velocity lens on. This one's a combination, I think. No, this one's... These are combination potency and velocity lenses, and those lenses, what they do is they increase the speed of this little ball that's coming from it, so that it makes like a beam, and then it runs out like that, or low anyway. Yeah, they're out. So, but I ran out of leaves. So when I first got this going, I needed to get these filled up to right about where they're at right now. This one's already out. Still out. These mana pumps are supposed to keep this thing going, so let's annoy everybody again. Now this fills up as this goes around, but it's gonna have to fill up this one first, then this one, right? That's the idea. So that way it needs to go this direction, and then just for the sake of argument, I will go ahead and put this on here. Now, like I said, I had some integrated dynamics twerk issues. I don't know what to call it. It's an issue, man. This thing was going on and off too fast, and it actually lost it. This is a sticky piston. It's not supposed to lose control of a block, but it would it let go. I guess it was just going too fast, so it let go. So you get the idea. This is placing leaves. The leaves are getting eaten by the munch dews. The munch dews are then transferring that mana up here into these mana spreaders. The mana spreaders shoot the power down into these mana pools, which then generate the power for this elven portal. There's only one block that really matters. You get it built. It's just like this. There's nothing underneath these. This is dirt. So it's kind of like a 3 wide nether portal. Yeah, guess that's a good way of explaining it. These cookies are amazing, by the way. These biscuits of totality are like instant full food. Well, shoot. You know, you just try to make videos the best you can to kind of entertain people, and I did the best I could with this one, but with the multiple interruptions, I'm surprised that this is actually going to turn out okay. I'm going to have to do a lot of extra work because of that, so, you know, whatever. I'll interrupt the kids when they're trying to do theirs and make it so that their life's harder too, so it's fair. That seems like the right thing to do. But, you know, it's fun. It's just what it is. It's all just about fun. I'm going to get rid of this tree because I want to make sure that I have room to work. Because I'm going to be making this into a Botania area even more. I want to make it look more Botania. So I'll have my main storage home there. My Botania area in this area here. And then I'm just going to kind of work my way around, I think, and keep building out and flattening. And building different rooms with different types of mods. I want to do a mod area for integrated dynamics, but really integrated dynamics is like an add-on to me. Like it augments parts of the mods, like this right here, and it's not as standalone. Like it can be, I suppose, but to me it's kind of like an augmented. So watch this. Boom, full health. One cookie, and all that is just an auto-crafted cookie. I drop into that mana pool. So let's just call it a biscuit. So I say biscuit. Oh, I got some already. Let's see, I want to make 10 of those. They take up quite a bit of mana. But for what they do, totally worth it. Like you can see the mana going down in that mana pool. Right? Can you see that? Now it's going back up again. Because of these, all of these mana pools. I mean, look at all these Indo Flames. So I don't know. Give me a comment down below if you want me to use another form of mana production flower. I don't really know for sure which ones I can actually do, because I'm not really that good with this extra stuff. Some of it's fun, some of it's not so fun. I don't know how to do this. I don't know. It says it's possibly the strongest available generating flower within the botanist toolbelt. It's also one of the less straightforward to put to work. Yeah, because it does weird game, and I don't even know. I've never even seen the game done. I'm going to have to look up a tutorial just so that I can use it. Otherwise, it's useless. Why that would be the low generating game, like why would that be something that people use to start off with? I don't know. But no one's going to do it. I don't know. Begonia, I know I'm going to use that for my bees. So that's why I did Botania, because I know I'm going to do bees during this series. The Entropinium, you just basically explode some TNT. And this I can do. I think I'm going to try this. This Rune of Wrath is a kind of a yikes. But, I mean, I've seen it done. I think I can do it pretty easily. My way of doing it's going to be done with integrated dynamics, and I'm going to be reading the flower's cooldown time. That's the idea behind it. And then when the flower's cooled down, it's going to send a redstone signal to put a user which plays TNT. The TNT is going to be automatically next to, like, placed on a block of redstone or something to blow up. And the way this generates power or mana is actually from the explosion. And it's supposed to, mind you, I'm going to test this, prevent the explosion if the mana is absorbed from doing damage to blocks around it. If it doesn't work right, I'll have to figure it out, but I think that's how it's supposed to work. The Gourmet, I've done this Gamariellis. The gourmet flower, this thing eats food, but it's you got to round robin the types of food. So like it says in here, you drop one type of food, it won't work as much as the next type, and you have to put it on a timer. You can do the same thing with it. I've done this plenty of times. That's one of my other go-tos besides the Endoflame. It's set up almost a similar setup like this, but instead of the inputting just coal, you put a different series of items in here. And that way it crafts different types of food, so it constantly is eating a different type of food. But you also have to remember you're going to need a lot of food for that thing to keep going. And so you're going to have your auto crafting on point. and it will auto-craft. Basically, put it this way. Have it auto-craft an easy-to-craft item first, then a harder, then a harder, then a harder, or having it, you know what I mean? Like the length of time that it takes for it to auto-craft, and then you can pretty much time it that way. Wow, see, as soon as this thing planted a leaf, it just immediately ate that thing. So it's going to fill this up. I don't know if it's even started to yet. Let me show you one other thing real quick. You can turn these with wrenches. So let's say I don't want the mana to go that way. I want it to go that way. And now you should see mana starting to go up as it fills. See, 465, etc. And it's going to keep going until it reaches that point. When it gets to a redstone signal from this being true, it will then activate that piston and push that block, and it'll stop that rail car. The reason why I did it like this, first of all, I wasn't really good at it. Let me get away from there right now. The reason why I did it like this was now if it retracts that when a mana being used, it's going to retract that block of stone, and then the rail car will just go down the track the rest of the way, hit that one, and keep on going. So it starts and stops all on its own. And that way I don't have to worry about babysitting it. I don't have to break the block all the time. Well, that's the theory anyway. It does work. I've had it working, and then I had a ghost rail cart on the last video, and I also had some weird glitchy video stuff going. So yeah, bear in mind that when I edit the previous video, there's probably about 75 different edits in that thing. So I'm sorry about that, but that's how it goes. So this is the Botania setup I did. That's the way I did it. Yeah, if you got comments, please like, subscribe, comment below. This is Galactic Chickens, and yeah, so is 44. That's the name. Take care. Oh, why do I keep doing that? There we go. I don't need a light level. I know it's dark. I love my monocle. I think it looks kind of neat. My axe murderer. Actually, I'm a shuriken thrower. Look at that thing. It looks better. Ooh, it throws it right at the camera. That's horrible. Anyway, take care. Bye-bye now.